what he said. Another day I replay. One too many doubts inside my head. Am I strong, beautiful? Am I good enough? Do I belong after all?
Hi everyone, my name is Priscilla and y'all welcome back to the Stay For Me show. Well, today I'm really excited about this particular episode because for the first time ever since I started this show, I'm gonna be having someone to join me here, and today it's none other than my family, my little brother Kenny. So without wasting my time, he's just standing here waiting to sit down. So let's just welcome Kenny. How's it come, Kenny?
Hey! Yo, what's up?
Say hi to the viewers.
Hi viewers.
Hi, okay, so this is my little brother Kenny. Well, I will leave everything for him. He's going to introduce himself. So Kenny, tell us a little bit.
My name is Kenneth Carl Jr. Jr.
Okay.
I was born in US. I'm 7. I'm 12, sorry.
Ah,
12.
You want to call out your age? Okay, yeah, 12.
I attend Takoradi International School.
Okay. You're in grade? You're grade?
7th.
Yeah, grade
7th grade.
Okay, well that's good. So Kenneth, he is called Kenneth, but we most of the time call him Kenny or Ken. I most of the time call him Ken.
No.
So Kenny is actually our sibling. Yeah, so he's actually part of the Apple family now. So he was actually born in the US and he's living with us, and he's been here for how many years now? 2 years.
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. So I think September is gonna be 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really long. And great.
September.
I mean,
September.
Yeah, September. We are all excited about Kenny because it's actually kind of like an answer to our prayers, because when we all grew up, we wanted to have a little sibling or a little brother or a little sister. So we're always kind of like telling mommy to give us another like child or another sibling, and she was like, oh, no, please, I'm tired. 5 is okay. So when he came, we're really excited, but after some months, I was like, wow, that's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of kids.
Because
five
Kenny,
in one.
Yeah, well, something like that, because Kenny is actually a whole definition of how we were when we were kids. The things we used to do, our stubbornness, our goodness, like everything we used to do as kids. Kenny has been displaying everything.
Wow.
I mean, everything. So he's actually kind of like 5 in 1, and he is living with us, and we are actually, it's kind of like we are watching our childhood all over again.
Wow,
so it's been fun, it's been amazing, really.
Buy one, get one free.
What?
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah, true. Buy one, get one free, and it's actually buy one, get 5 free. Because it's actually having five of us in him. Yeah, so he is part of us now, and we are really excited about him. And I'm really excited to have him on the show, and he's actually my first guest. I never thought that you would be my first guest on the show, because a couple of months back I wanted to start the interviews, but a lot of preparation, and the moment I wanted to start, this coronavirus thing came, and the people I need to interview, they are all on lockdown, so it means I can't go out. So the Holy Spirit on Monday, when we're having the morning devotion, right, the family morning devotion, when Daddy was praying, I think he kept telling me that, why don't I start with you? And I was thinking, what topic am I gonna talk to you about? Because seriously, I never once thought of bringing you on the show. Yeah, I mean, I thought of it, but not really too much. I mean, not now though.
So like, I was never in your head of this kind of thing.
No, I mean, you were, but I'm saying that, I mean, not this soon. I didn't know it would be this soon, because I have a whole lot of people that I wanted to. I mean, not that you are not thought of, but really, I mean, I'm talking about not this soon.
So like, if it wasn't me, you wouldn't be saying I'm your first guest.
Well, you are my first guest, aren't you? Yeah, and we are happy about it. So when Daddy started sharing the devotion, we were talking about, what was the topic?
The University of Silence.
The University of Silence. So it's more like the wilderness experience. And that is what we're actually gonna talk about today. So it's kind of like we're gonna have a devotional or something. And that was when the Holy Spirit told me that, Priscilla, why don't you talk about this topic with him? I still don't really know why the Holy Spirit said I should use Kenny, but we've been praying, and like for whatsoever purpose God wanted him to be on the show, he should make it like manifest. So yeah, so that is it. So I'm really happy. So excited. So Kenny, it's actually gonna be like a normal conversation, like we're having a devotional, discussing it and all that. So we actually wrote some things here. Actually, something like a guideline. He has one, I do have one, and we're just gonna talk. So today, what are we gonna discuss?
We're gonna talk about like the wilderness experience with Kenny.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. So we are gonna talk about the wilderness experience, and when I talk about this, we are gonna talk about link it to our Christian lives, our spiritual life, because I think that there comes a times where we get to our lowest moment in our lives where we feel that it's just like silence. It's like God is not speaking. It actually seems like He has forsaken us. You know how Jesus Christ actually felt when He was on the cross. He was actually experiencing the lowest moment ever. That's why on the cross later on he just shouted and said, my God, why have you forsaken me? Because although it seemed that God wasn't listening or God wasn't there, He was actually there working everything behind the background, you know. So it seems like we don't really see God in it, but He's actually there working for us. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. We are going to look at why this experience is really important for us to experience this kind of thing, because reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, even up till now, we've realized so many people, I mean, almost every Christian experience the lowest moment in their lives, you know. So when we talk about it, you are going to tell me the times where you experience your lowest moments. You're going to discuss that, okay? Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we will. So why don't we start by talking about the meaning of wilderness? So what is a wilderness? Can you?
Like a wilderness, one might say a wilderness is a condition of uncultivated, undeveloped place, an uninhabited place, unfriendly, neglected place.
Yeah, that's a lot of synonyms. Well, it's great, seriously. That is what it means. So wilderness is kind of like undeveloped, right? So will you throw more light on it? Like what you just read, just explain it.
Wait, what? Red where?
You didn't read. Okay, so it was just from your mind, right? Okay, so okay, so tell us what you mean by whatever you said from your mind right now.
Like what I mean, like it's a place where like the outdoors, it's like a desert, like only you there, like everyone has left you.
Nothing.
No water, nothing.
No amenities. No swimming pool for you to swim in when it's so hot.
No KFC, nothing.
Nothing. So there is nothing there. So that is what it means. So it's like the world. He likes KFC a lot, so that is why he's saying that. So the wilderness and desert, they are actually almost like the same, right?
Yeah.
Because the desert is more like a place of thirst, a harsh condition, like no vegetation. So there's no plants. There is nothing there, you know. So even if you are thirsty, I mean, you can't get water anywhere. You know, it's just full of sand, nothing. So we are going to link it to our Christian lives.
Yeah.
You know, the spiritual aspect where, as I said earlier, you always get to a point where it's like there is nothing for you to continue with. You get to a time where everything you're praying for, like you're not seeing it. It's like you will always have this dream. You want to be this in future, you want to be that. But you get to a point where all those things you need to get to where you need to get, they are not there.
Yeah.
I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So do you think every Christian experienced something like that?
Yeah.
Have you experienced something like that though?
Yeah.
Really? You are a kid. You just have everything handed over to you.
Nah, I experienced.
Okay, so can you
wilderness.
tell us some of your experiences that you've had?
Like this one time I was watching this video, and then like this video, it was like about, like it said Judgment Day, and like they were dragging this guy to hell, and then like after about 2 days I got so freaked out about it, and then like I tried to pray but like it didn't work, so I was still scared. I was scared to watch YouTube. I stayed in my room. I covered myself with the blanket. My siblings want my food to me, so I didn't get like too hungry.
Okay.
So about that, like after about like a week or two, my prayers still weren't answered. So my mom took me to this pastor, and then he gave me oil, and then like he just put his hand on me, and then like it was gone. That's all.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was kind of like when you watched that, it actually put fear in you as to what will happen after the judgment day.
Yeah.
So you were kind of like feeling a little bit of torment and you wanted it to go away.
Yeah.
But you prayed and it wasn't going away. So at that point, you felt like God wasn't listening or something. That was what it seemed like, right? So it was until when they went to the pastor and the pastor prayed for. So that was one of your lowest moments, right? Well, I think this is great. This is great because there are times where we experience so many things and then we actually pray about it for God to deliver us from it, and sometimes it seems like God is not listening or God is not really helping, but probably there are some things He wants us to learn during that period. So for you, during that period, you needed God, right?
Yeah.
Because before then, maybe you hadn't really prayed for a long time or something by yourself, but then during that period when you watched the judgment day, that period when you felt afraid, you needed to pray to God, right?
Yeah.
So now you're going to look at why this desert or wilderness experience. But before that, we are going to read some verses, right?
Yeah.
So which one are we going to read first? We have a lot. So let's start with Genesis chapter 12 verse 1 to 7. That's what we're going to read. So please join me. Let's all open our Bibles to Genesis chapter 12 verse 1 to 7. You did a bookmark. I didn't do it, so I have to. So can you read for us?
Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 7.
Yeah.
Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. And Abraham took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their possessions they had gathered, and the people that they had acquired to Haran, and they set out to go to the land of Canaan. Canaan.
Okay, continue.
When they came to the land of Canaan, Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem,
Okay.
to the oak of Moreh. At the time, the Canaanites, the Canaanites were in the land.
Okay. So reading this scripture, actually we could how do you understand the whole thing? Faith. So can you
Trust.
throw more light on it?
Like Abraham didn't know where he was going, but God told him to go and he would direct his paths pretty much. So he trusted God and then he went. If Abraham hadn't gone, then all the promised ones wouldn't have come, including Jesus himself.
Wow, that is actually great. Because Abraham was obedient, that is how come now he is referred to as the father of many nations, because like we are all descendants of Abraham, even Jesus Christ. So it took obedience, it took trust and faith. So at this point, Abraham was kind of like experiencing a little bit of a moment of silence from God, or a wilderness of silence, because I'm sure he actually thought that, God, why are you taking me back? God didn't actually tell him why he needed to leave, but he decided to trust him. So what are you actually trying to tell us?
I'm trying to tell you that in the lowest points of time, when you think God isn't there, he is actually there for you.
Yeah, so we just need to trust whatever he's doing, whether we see it or
Trust
not.
and obey.
Trust and obey. That's the word. Trust and obey. So do you think that God intentionally makes us go through these things, these wilderness experiences?
Yes.
He does. Why do you think so?
For us to gain trust in him and faith, so that we can get closer to him.
True, because
he doesn't want us to lose our identity or who we are as Christians.
That's great, because being a Christian, that is your identity. So in moments like this, for example, this coronavirus thing that is going around, have you realized that this is a time where a lot of people are turning to God?
Yeah.
Churches have shut down, but then some people have stayed home. Well, we are still having cell meetings, haven't we? So it's kind of like during this time, God wants you to pick up who you were or go back to where you used to be. It's kind of like you return to your first love. So God, I'm sure if this hadn't happened, a whole lot of people would still be where they are right now. But God brought this to let us remind us of who we are, so we get closer to Him, as He said, right?
Yeah.
So it's great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So during this experience, what have you actually learned? I mean, this whole pandemic that has been going around, how has it been? How has it impacted you? I mean, as a young person.
Well, really, it doesn't really impact me that much because I don't really know anyone with the coronavirus or.
No, I'm not talking about like the impact as in you being affected with the virus, but I'm saying that this whole chaos that is going around now, you don't go to school anymore, you're just home.
Yeah.
Like what good things has it brought into your life? Like, do you think it has impacted you in a positive way?
Yes.
So what are some of the things?
I have more time at home to bond with the family.
Yeah, that's number one. Okay.
I can. I have more time to catch up on my video games.
Of course.
I can do my quiet time every day without having to like be in a rush or hurry or anything.
Wow.
And also, let me see, like what impact? I don't have to go to school.
Of course. Kenny, the idea of schooling, Kenny was so happy when he got to know that schools have been locked, that he was really happy. And you know, because he's in grade 7, he doesn't have to do any online courses, like it's just home, like that. So you see, it has, in as much as it has brought so many negatives into people's lives, you know, because at first we used to go to church, but now we don't. But even that, we are having some meetings and you're enjoying it, right? Because there are just a few people coming over to have this kind of time. So let's look at another reason why we go through this wilderness experience. So I'm gonna mention the next one. Like, we go through this wilderness experience because God wants to test us. He wants to expose our heart to show Him whether we truly love Him or not. And we see it right now, right? Because now, as I said earlier, the churches have closed down. But then us, we are still meeting on Sundays, Tuesday evenings, Thursday evenings with a few friends, right? I mean, there are not many, but a few, you know, just to still have fellowship with God, you know. So during this time, even in as much as a whole lot of people have stayed home and are not going to church with this excuse that churches have closed down, so I don't really need to do all that, we are still doing it because we are like, no matter what happens, we love God. No matter what happens, God is still God, and that it wouldn't shake our faith. So in this time, God has tested us, and this shows how much we love Him, right, through everything that we are doing. So what do you also think about it? About God testing us?
I think He's testing us for a reason. Like, He wants to know who truly loves Him and who stays by His side.
And have you stayed by His side?
As usual, yes.
As usual. What makes you think so?
I still go to church. I still read the Bible.
I mean, church, there's so many things we have at home, right?
I still pray every morning. I still do my quiet time.
Yeah. Okay, so that's actually amazing. That's actually amazing. So we are going to look at God Himself actually in the Bible told the Israelites, you know, as to why He made them experience the wilderness experience. Because I think this morning when we're discussing it, we actually learned that the Israelites could have used just a few years to enter Canaan, right? And that was the purpose. That was the whole purpose. God wanted them to get a promised land, but they took a longer period. Why? Because of their attitude, you know, because God wanted them to depend on Him. And then we are going to read in the Bible shortly as to the real reason. So let's open our Bibles to Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 2 to 3. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 2 to 3. Can you read it?
Yeah. And you shall remember the whole way that the Lord your God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness.
Okay.
that he might humble you, testing you to know what is in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or not.
Okay, so let's stop there. So this verse, God actually said it that he wanted them to go through it. Another reason is to humble us, right?
Yeah.
To make us humble. And can you tell us, like, give us an instance as to like for why, how we get to be humble through this wilderness experience?
As a Christian, you should know that God is by your side, and that like you should be humble, you should be calm. You should not let this virus affect you in any way.
In any way, because it's more like when you need something from someone, you actually come solo to do everything the person wants because you need something from him, right? So it's kind of like this prayer, like this: we need God to actually take this virus away. We need him to save us. We need him to cure all those who have been infected. So what we are doing now is being humble by, and what are we doing as we are being humble? We are praying, we are being obedient, we are living holy lives and pure lives, right?
Yeah.
So all this is to make us humble, and it was the same for the Israelites. And it also goes on to say that, and to test you, as we discussed earlier, and to know what is in your hearts, whether you keep his commandments or not. You know the Israelites, most of the time, I think they easily forgot everything God told them to do, or they easily forgot everything God did for them. So God will do something for them. The next moment they will forget that God did this for them, and all that. So God actually wanted to know what is really in their heart, whether if they face another desert, if they face another trouble, are they going to keep his commandments, still be obedient and not complain? I hope you get me. Yeah, so that was it. And read the verse 3.
And he humbled you and let you hunger and feed with your mama.
With manna.
With manna.
Yeah.
Which you did not know, nor did your fathers know. Now he might make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but man lives by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord.
Okay, so that is what God said. God said that he humbled them, he allowed them to hunger and all that. And that is what we go through in our lowest moment. He allows us to face like hunger. And the hunger, this is like physical hunger, because they needed like actual physical food. But in here, in our spiritual lives, hunger is like you wanting to be filled with something. And right now it's kind of like we are all hungry for something. We are all empty now, and it's only God who will fill us, who will make us satisfied, right? That is why we are always praying. So the only way that we get filled, and the only way that we can actually go through this wilderness experience smoothly. Do you think we can go through this wilderness experience smoothly?
Not smoothly per se. Like there will be some challenges, like loved ones will die. Maybe like as we're speaking now, the university of silence, you might not hear God in your prayers.
Yeah.
So like it won't come out smoothly. It'll be a bit rough on the way.
But then, with God, with the Holy Spirit, it can be made a little bit simple, right? At least you can have someone you can depend on.
Yeah.
So that's what makes the whole experience really good. Because if you put God away, your problem doesn't go away, right? So this virus, if you decide not to depend on God, the virus is still there. But at least with God, it can make us feel better about it, because we know that at the end, His glory will come forth, right? And show forth. So I think that's it. We've discussed everything, and now we know that sometimes the harsh conditions we go through are intentional, and that God really makes that happen. It's for our own good. So I'm sure that at the end of this pandemic, at the end of this lockdown, you think you're going to be a better person?
Yeah.
What makes you think so?
Yeah. What makes I think so?
Yeah.
Knowing that I made it through alive and well. So if I know I make it alive and well, I know He heard me. He answered my prayers.
Okay. Well, that's great. That is great. And what about your spiritual life? Do you think you would have grown more in God? Because it's like you have a whole lot of time to spend time with Him. So definitely you're going to learn so many things, right? And at the end, you're going to be more matured, both physically and spiritually. That's the whole point of all this, right? So I think we've come to the end of this devotional, or this episode with the wilderness experience with my little brother Kenny. So soon, you wanted to continue? Is there something else you want to say?
Like we could take Hebrews chapter 12.
Okay, wow.
Verse
We
1 to
need
2.
to. He wants us to read another verse to make it. Yeah, having fun with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to study Hebrews chapter. You know, that's what the Holy Spirit does. When you're spending more time with Him, you don't even want to stop. And that's what you are doing now. And I'm so happy you're doing that. Because it's always great to hear God's word. So Hebrews chapter 12 verse 1 to 2. You want to read that for us?
Okay. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance and race that is set before us.
Okay. The verse 2.
Looking to Jesus, the founder and the perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising
the shame.
and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God.
Yes. So this actually talks about the faith, as you said.
Yeah.
So it's saying that even since we are surrounded by the Greek, do you know what the cloud of witnesses is?
The cloud of witnesses.
Yeah. What are you looking at up there? Is the answer there? It's in the heavens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking
So
that.
the cloud, let me use a simple example. At the football
Pitch.
Yeah, the football pitch. The crowd, the
Yeah.
fans, and all that. When they are playing, the crowd, they shout. If someone is doing great, they shout to encourage the person. And if the person maybe falls, they are like, oh, you need to get back up and all that. So in heavens, we have people like that. We have fans there. So you have fans. I have fans there. You see, so it's kind of like you're a celebrity and people are actually like looking down to you, trying to motivate you, encourage you and all that. So it's kind of like everything you do, they are watching. It's not kind of, they are watching.
Like right now,
Right now
everything we're doing.
Right now they're watching us, yes. And when you're going to sing too, they see you. And it's like in your mind, when you're going to sing, you hear a voice telling you that, Kenny, no, don't do this, it's bad, don't do it. It's a cloud of witnesses that's like screaming, telling you not to do it through the Holy Spirit. Do you understand? So this verse is telling us that since we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, we should just do everything perfect in the sight of God. Doing everything by faith and trust, as you said, looking unto God, who is the what? Who is the author?
Omega. Huh?
Who is the author and the finisher of our faith? Jesus is.
Yeah.
So looking unto, because He is the one who perfects our faith. Jesus Christ actually faith Himself. The moment He walks in, we believe that everything is gonna go on well, right? That's why they tell us to dwell in the secret place of the Most High.
Yeah.
In Psalm 91.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Psalm 91. Yeah.
yeah. Can you tell us the verse 1? You see, he that dwell in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. You are laughing, but you know that verse, right? You know it, but you just couldn't quote it word by word.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. They are watching you now. Okay, so that's what it means.
Yeah.
Look at him. So so should we read the next verse?
Why not?
Genesis, the last
Genesis
one.
chapter 45,
Verse 7. So let's hop into that. That's our last scripture edited. We'll just
Last one, there's a rotten egg.
Hmm?
Last one, there's a rotten egg.
Yeah, Genesis chapter 45, verse 7. Verse 7. Okay. Yeah, actually open fast. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna read it, right?
Oh yeah, I guess. And God sent me before you to preserve you for a remnant on earth, and to keep you alive, for you many survivors.
And start. It's just 7. Okay. So this verse is actually talking about Joseph, when Joseph was sold by the brothers.
Yeah.
And they thought that what they were doing will actually end up good for them, but they didn't know that was actually the opposite. It was actually going to work out for the good of Joseph. So Joseph at that point, I mean, if you are thrown into a well and someone picks you out, or you are sold to someone, can you imagine how would you feel?
It's like if your physical body is sold to someone, how much your spirit?
You see. So can you imagine how Joseph felt when he was sold to people he doesn't even know, a country he has never been to, a country he has never lived there before, and all that. So and he was later thrown into prison.
Yeah.
And then he later on came out of prison and all that. And all this period for years, he was experiencing his lowest moment. I mean, imagine being thrown into a prison. How would you feel?
If I'm thrown into a prison, nah, it's too much work.
Too much work? I mean,
and I hear they don't give you good food.
You see, you can't enjoy anything you used to enjoy. So Joseph was actually experiencing his lowest moments ever. But during that time, he still trusted God. He still trusted. And at the end, look at what happened. So the verse 7, he said that, and God sent me before you to preserve a posterity for you in the earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So here, Joseph was like, God intentionally made it happen, right? That's what he actually meant.
Yeah, that's what he thought.
Yeah, so God actually made that happen in order to deliver his brothers, to deliver his family, and to deliver the whole of Israel. Because do you know what happened in Israel at that time?
In Israel.
At that time, in Joseph's time.
They were like low on food.
Yeah, they were low on food, the famine and all that. And
Yeah.
God used Joseph to preserve them by saving a whole lot of stuff. So when they went into famine, they still had food, to the extent that the other neighboring countries or the neighboring cities came, and that was when his brothers came in to get some of the food.
But they didn't know that. They didn't know it was him.
Yeah, they didn't know. It was later on that Joseph revealed himself to let him know, wow, you're so good. Really, you're using your free time so well, studying everything. Yeah, so I think that's it, right? Is there anything else you want to say to your viewers about everything we've studied today? Like anything to add?
Yeah, I'm okay. Wait, yeah, I got one.
Okay.
Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he shall direct your paths. During this pandemic, if you acknowledge God, he will direct your paths, which is written. And God doesn't lie.
Okay.
So acknowledge him, pray about it, think about it, meditate on it, and be saved again.
Yeah, again and again. Because the only reason why we can depend on God again, because we have a history of him helping us when we need him, right?
Yeah.
So we're able to depend on him because we know he has done it before.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so that's it. So viewers, thank you so much. You had a great time, right? Didn't you? It was fun. Do you think we should do this again?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
It would be great to be my guest again, right?
Yeah, obviously the crowd loves me, like you said.
Look at you. Yeah, so I mean, really had fun talking about the word of God. I mean, it's always great to be in the house of the Lord, right?
Yeah.
With joy, it's fun, happiness. I mean, he didn't even want to end. Even when I was like, yeah, Dad, he was like, we should read 2 more scriptures. So that's what we've learned today, and I really hope that will encourage someone out there, because right now we are actually experiencing like a wilderness moment, a desert moment, and you might be thinking that God is not listening, or God is not really answering your prayers and all that. But we should know that even though it seems that he's not working, he's actually working anyways. He's actually working in the background. We are not seeing the bigger picture yet, but at the end of the day, we are gonna see his fingerprint on everything that happened, and we'll give him all the praise and give him all the worship, right? Because it's all for the glorification of his name. Yeah, so that's it for today, and we are hoping to see you on the other episode. Why don't you end in your element? Say bye bye to them. Say something about subscribing. Anything.
STVshop.com. Like and subscribe. It's for free.
Yeah, so subscribe and we're gonna see you on the next video.
If you don't subscribe, I'll leave you. Be there.
Okay, that's actually great. So if you have any question, as I said earlier, you can always send a comment or you can send me a DM about anything, and yeah, I'm gonna reply. So this is bye for now. Bye bye, Kenny. Bye. Mwah. Bye.
I'm running to the one who knows